All eyes were initially on BTS's oldest Taehyung, who finally returned to the stage. But unexpectedly, in a matter of minutes, the focus of thousands of cameras and millions of online viewers switched. A person appears on the stage, relaxed but deadly, Jungkook, and instantly the mood changed completely. Imagine, in the blink of an eye, Jin's nostalgic concert suddenly became the most viral moment globally. The world seemed to stop. The social media timeline is full of just one name, Jungkook. America screamed, HYBE panicked, and Korea wide-eyed. Because what happened that night is not even written in any scenario. Within the first 90 seconds, everyone realized something. Jungkook was no longer just a solo successful BTS member. It is already a cultural phenomenon that stands outside the calculations of any entertainment industry. From the moment his footsteps touched the stage, the lighting changed, the audience's energy doubled, and the camera instantly looked for the best angle to capture it. The crowd, which had been shouting Jin's name, now turned into a sea of cheers. Jungkook! Which resonates endlessly. It doesn't take a grand opening or high vocals to steal the show. One simple gesture, one look, is enough to set the digital world on fire. From New York to Tokyo, trending topics changed dramatically in just 10 minutes. Billboard, Rolling Stone, and even Vogue wrote, Jungkook just turned Jin's concert into his own stage. But behind that moment, there is a layer of interesting storytelling about the strategy, reaction, and strength of an idol who, even his own management, seemed unprepared for the effects of his presence. The entertainment world has never seen anything so powerful, a moment that blurs the line between the main stage and the guest stars. Then the question is, what really made HYBE panic, and why did the Americans scream? Let's peel them one by one. What happened that night was not just an impromptu performance. On stage, Jin performed his solo song with a distinctive energy, warm, full of emotion, and welcomed thousands of long-awaited ARMY. But when Jungkook appeared, the atmosphere of the concert changed completely. The light beam followed his steps, as if all the stage equipment had prepared themselves for him. He did not appear with the intention of taking the spotlight, but reality speaks otherwise. As soon as Jungkook appeared, all attention automatically shifted to him. Many onlookers described it as a magnetic phenomenon, an irresistible attraction. In the video footage, it is seen how even Jin himself looks at her with a small smile, as if he knows that his sister has just created a moment that cannot be repeated. Jungkook wore a simple black outfit. His hair fell naturally, and there were no special effects on the back screen. But every time he moved, the camera knew it had to focus on him. It was not choreography, Rolling Stone Korea magazine wrote. It's the natural instinct of a true performer. Shortly after, Jungkook's fan cam flooded YouTube. A 30-second video can reach millions of views in a short period of time. The hashtag number #JungkookJinConcert is trending in more than 40 countries, including the United States. Even non-BTS fandom accounts spread the clip because of the incredible stage aura. In a few hours, Jin's concert will no longer just be remembered as Taehyung's comeback, but as a night where Jungkook made the whole world talk about one thing: how could one performance change the dynamics of the industry so quickly? Behind the scenes, it was reported that HYBE's team was overwhelmed. Several internal sources said the moment was not entirely planned. Jungkook was invited, but I didn't expect the viral effect to be that strong. After the video of her performance went viral around the world, HYBE's promotion and communications team had to readjust the media strategy already in place for Jin's concert. Because the public's big narrative is no longer about Jin's return, but Jungkook's dominance on someone else's stage. Imagine that a giant agency like HYBE which usually has full control over every visual detail, expression, even concert lighting, suddenly has to adapt because one artist steals momentum in a way that cannot be stopped. This is not about mismanagement, but about the fact that Jungkook's power has now surpassed that of the system. He is no longer part of the plan, he is the plan itself. In industry forums, many entertainment analysts began to talk about this moment as a transition point in the relationship between agencies and artists. Because for the first time, young artists can move the direction of global news without the need for a major promotional strategy. HYBE knew that they were witnessing something greater than their own control. Some Korean media even used the term HYBE's proud fear, pride mixed with worry. That night, it wasn't just Korea that thundered. Entertainment news platforms in America responded immediately. "Jungkook just did it again," Billboard wrote. CNN Entertainment called the moment an unintentional takeover. But what made America react so much? The answer lies in Jungkook's style of performance. Without saying much, it displays something universal: charisma. He didn't speak for long, but the energy of his body conveyed everything. That is the reason why his appearance can go viral even among non-fans. Media analysts have described Jungkook as having visual rhythm, the ability to combine body language, emotion, and the tempo of music to create communication without language barriers. On Twitter, the hashtag number Jungkook takes over America was trending for over 9 hours. Fans from different countries likened the moment to Michael Jackson's appearance on MTV 1995, a moment in which one artist showed absolute power on stage without words. The difference is that this time, everything happened spontaneously. No big plans, no long rehearsals, just a natural, authentic presence. This is why many media outlets write that Jungkook speaks a language only emotions can translate. Even some American outlets write headlines like, "HYBE created Jungkook, but now he's bigger than them." At the end of the concert, the atmosphere was mixed. Jin looked proud, fans were crying, and Jungkook only smiled slightly as he looked down at the audience. But everyone knows they just witnessed something that will never happen again. There is no struggle for the spotlight, no competition, just the natural strength of a performer who involuntarily swallows the whole atmosphere. Some observers refer to the moment as a displacement of the center of gravity within the BTS, not negatively, but a symbol that each member now carries their own orbit. And Jungkook, with all his aura and calmness, is perhaps the most powerful of them. This fact made HYBE have to rethink how to manage artists who no longer need management. Because Jungkook is now not just an asset, but a phenomenon that governs the global pop scene in its own way. Perhaps that is why the evening was so legendary. Because on one small stage, the world sees a new balance between tradition and freedom, between systems and spontaneity, between a large agency and one man named Jungkook, who just by standing on the stage can make the world stop for a moment. That night, no one expected that one small gesture from Jungkook would become a global conversation for days. During Jin's concert, there was a moment when Jungkook just lowered his head, then raised the mic and stared at the camera. No words, no long chants, but in that second, the spotlight of the stage lights seemed to belong only to him. The audience screamed hysterically, and cameras from different directions instantly focused lenses on her face. In a short time, the moment became the most viral clip on the internet. "It's the stare," wrote one of Variety's music journalists. That 1-second look reminded everyone why Jungkook is a global phenomenon. On closer inspection, the simple gesture is no coincidence. Jungkook knows exactly when the best emotional timing is to make a connection with the audience. He waited in silence, then gave a small expression that conveyed great meaning. This is what makes people feel like they are talking without words. There is a powerful silent energy, a charisma that cannot be explained logically. Many fans liken Jungkook's aura that night to legendary figures like Freddie Mercury or Prince, someone who knew exactly how to control the stage just by presence, not by voice or choreography. On the TikTok platform, thousands of reaction videos appeared. International fans cried, laughed, and even made their own theories about what Jungkook's expression meant that night. Some argue it's a symbol of gratitude to Jin, while others believe it's a spontaneous form of pride toward Hyung. But whatever the interpretation, one thing is clear. The world is already hypnotized, and HYBE, they seem to have just realized that such a small moment can shake their global communication strategy. There's no way to predict the viral effects of silence, but Jungkook proved it. Once the concert was over, HYBE's management moved quickly. The media plan for Jin's coverage that had been prepared for months had to be overhauled in a matter of hours. The timeline that was supposed to highlight the return of Jin is now flooded with trending topics bearing Jungkook's name. Fans and the media began posting clips showing only 90 seconds of Jungkook's performance, with captions such as, "The moment that stole the show." Even the Korean national television station reruns the piece as a major entertainment news segment. HYBE is certainly proud, but also confused, because this phenomenon does not come from their strategy, but from the spontaneous reaction of the public. In an entertainment world tightly controlled by corporate narratives, something like this is rare. Usually, every camera angle and media caption is set, but this time, all goes beyond the script. This is what has led many entertainment analysts to call this event the most beautiful moment of loss of control in HYBE's history. They didn't lose, but they learned that Jungkook wasn't just an artist, he was a wave that could roll the entire promotional flow. Some sources even said that after the concert, the internal team began to rediscuss how they could manage the unpredictable Jungkook phenomenon. Because if left without direction, such a large force could destabilize the industrial system. But if directed appropriately, it could take BTS and HYBE to a level that no Korean artist has ever reached. HYBE realized one important thing that night. The world was no longer following their strategy, it was following Jungkook. Hours after the concert, news sites in America began vying to write about the moment. The night Jungkook stole the world's attention again, Entertainment Weekly wrote. On Twitter, X, the music influencer wrote, "You can't teach that kind of stage power. Jungkook just is the moment." The American media discussed not only his appearance, but also the psychological impact caused. They highlight how the audience instantly reacts emotionally just by looking at his gestures. Jungkook is considered to have emotional gravity, the ability to make people feel connected without needing to understand the language. This is nothing new for BTS fans. But for an American audience accustomed to big artists like The Weeknd or Justin Timberlake, Jungkook's phenomenon is like a breath of fresh air. It uses no gimmicks, no bombastic choreography, just authentic presence and incredible self-control. Some music analysts call him a performer built for the modern algorithm, someone who knows when to give dramatic effect, when to stop, and when to stand still for the world to stare at. On TikTok in the US, a snippet of Jungkook's video at Jin's concert reached millions of views in a few hours. Comments flooded in from "This man is unreal" to "How can one person hold so much presence?" Even some American artists retweeted the clip. proving that Jungkook's aura has crossed the boundaries of fandom and industry. On the other hand, HYBE began to realize that the global market now sees Jungkook not as a representation of Korea, but as a world icon. He became a universal symbol of attractiveness that cannot be learned, it can only be possessed. Jin's concert was supposed to be a sentimental celebration for ARMY, but thanks to Jungkook's presence, he turned into a symbol of K-pop's new power. No one could have anticipated that in less than 2 minutes, the world would see a major shift in the dynamics of the entertainment industry. On the one hand, Jin shows his maturity and his characteristic charm as a mature artist. On the other hand, Jungkook shows the future of K-pop spontaneous, visual, emotional, and completely global. From an entertainment point of view, the night was a big lesson that sometimes the most viral moments are born from the unplanned. Jungkook proves that charm doesn't need a scenario, just a sincere presence. And that's what makes the world scream, HYBE panic, and history change. Because in the gleaming center of the stage, we all witnessed one simple but monumental thing. A young boy named Jungkook stood up, and the whole world stopped to look at him.